Peace. I was recapping the last video. It really makes sense to mention that I don't know his name. Harry. There's one of the royal family who's just absolutely left. We've got no problem with them. The Harry and his wife, they've left the royal family. They've got nothing to do with the royal family. They haven't shown any sort of complicity or support for the royal family. Harry and that, yeah, his wife and his children. That's all. That's no enemies with us. The planes say royal. They say royal about him, but he's not endorsed that brand. He hasn't done anything bad, and no reason at all that we would have any hostility against Harry. Harry, not a problem. We also said something about the strategic information of the ones who we do find complicit. Again, speaking royal we and singular. Where we're going, we're gonna have, for instance, death penalty for rape in some places in the world. We already have that. Anyone who wants to stop that, you can't. The people who do want to stop that, it's not good. You got to draw a really certain line on that. And if you outsource all the decision making to somewhere far away, then outsourcing all the decision far away in terms of justice, if you've got a problem between someone here and here, the last person you want to ask is that person. But if you don't do that, then you can sort of rely on like a justice system to work if it works well enough, and it's got to be sensible. That isn't that you've got lots and lots of people all making lots of tiny decisions, and morality isn't really clear in any of the little decisions. By the time they add up, will hold a different consequence. Am I advocating that like an unseen and right now non-existent audience should go and kill the political leaders of the old establishment of particularly the UK, where not only do I know we need systematic reform, I'm capable of bringing systematic reform, and I can't talk about what America needs in much specific detail, but I know London very well. And London already is sort of synecdoche for what London has its mitts on. That's what I have my mitts on. I'm going to be very hands-off in terms of how people live their lives, not in terms of how politics is run. And in fact, we need a Gestapo then. From this, if we can be really strict on the politicians, then the people will be free. I don't think we've seen a decent society that doesn't run that way. That there are people who need to organize people if you want to have organized people together, and those organizers absolutely hold them at the end of a sword. The little nation-statey people with their truncheons and prison cells and things aren't a threat to me, but this is a conversation about the people together, and I'm going to be a ruler. I would like to see the former monarch of this country skinned and her skin put separate to her body, absolutely undesecrated. Don't do anything dirty to her. Take her skin off. Put her on, I guess just a chair. A throne would be more humiliating. A chair. Maybe there, and her skin. 2 chairs. Outside of Buckingham Palace, outside of Westminster Palace, outside of City Hall. The meanings of words changes. I don't know really the meaning of history. If we did that, I would be totally okay to say, okay, well, we've been treated very, very badly. We want no revenge, no retaliation whatsoever. But the lines of transgressing life and death, that there's no slap on the wrist for this. And the reason I make reference to this document of the people who are those who are actively complicit, the people holding weapons and the people telling them what to do. Well, the mess of trying to just execute all those people. It'd be easy. I'm sure we'd find much people of all different persuasions who would be willing to have a go at that. But it means you got to make some people who weren't killers into killers. It means you got to put a lot of murders around the place, even though it's relatively few of the society, and they're relatively very, 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 very guilty. Uh, Guiltier than what you see in prisons. The best thing they can do, if they supposed that perhaps there's something else more capable of running the system or even making a better, more compassionate offer to the populaces, the best thing they can do, of course, is to destroy all their records. If you were a policeman and you thought that I had any sensibility in me whatsoever, you'd want to delete all your records of who's the employees, and then that would be it. It would be shut up shop. Very swiftly, and my first next imperative, having sorted all that out, and now having the death count to 1, I'll see if I can reduce that. Would Well, as long as those police people can eat, like that was, they weren't landowners. They were people who needed to do something for pay to eat, and they were given special status and special whatever. So it was dirty, but the people weren't necessarily dirty. Now, if we were to execute them on account of complicity, that would be on account of being dirty in a way that actually this legal system that's in place doesn't really recognize. So if just, it's so immoral to give up your own judgment like that. And even you knew that you were doing something really, really terrible, or you weren't thinking about it. And that absence of thought, that's a slayable offense for sure. I don't want that to happen. I want that to be the plan. And I want in between those sorts of people to absolutely demolish their records of who they are and what they did. We don't need records of the old laws that were inflicted upon people. I don't need records of their court dialogues. I don't need records of who got paid for doing what. We don't need records of who was locked up for what. We don't need records. We might find we're not keeping records of bank statements and documents. Why would we? It's inequality. Why would we uphold that tomorrow? We don't have to. Well, it seems like we need to just get mobilizing on talking about how to feed people, and then we have arrived at that situation where anyone who would take me seriously would want to destroy their records, and then there would be no hateful, truncheon-bearing campaigners of malice who come and who are here. They can disband. They can disband by deleting all their files. If the files remain, then you don't see a person who doesn't, in fact, want to inflict executions. I think it's cool that I can. Right now we got it down to 1 because I'm just assuming that people are going to delete all their records, and that'll make sense when there's the sort of, well, how good is this system going to be discussion. So far, I've got one casualty, and this least possible invasive. Yeah, don't care about William, and so if I don't care about William, I don't care about the MPs. This is Elizabeth Windsor. I want to see her skin taken off. She's just. It's vanity. A state run on highly elect vanity of a woman who wants you to see her face every day. Calls herself no. I think we want to take her skin off and put it next to her other bit. As gently as possible, as cleanly as possible. Ask the family about what they want to do with the body afterwards. We could even offer to put it back together. What does this look like? Who's doing that? I don't know. But of course it's not the way. So no casualties. Good. We need the supermarkets to keep running, and we've got world peace. As long as no one gets kicked out of their homes anymore. As long as no one has to profit someone else to be able to eat and sleep in shelter and safety. It won't come everywhere all at once that the supermarkets can stay stocked. But here they can. We're never going to have a shortage of food in this safe city. That's almost certainly true for where you are too. A degree of unitedness is what's going to make that possible. Well, that's it. We got down to 0 casualties. Allahu Akbar. Peace.